All right, guys. So this is one of our beloved legacy coins that we had with Dark Horse Coins some few years ago, which is Nervos Network (CKB), and I think it's worth looking at it again. Current market cap over here at 212 million, 0.004488 of a cent. Max supply, well, we don't have the max, but we have a circulating supply of 47 billion. Total supply right now is of 48 billion. All right. And here are the markets. Of course, you got Binance, Qcoin, but if you're in America, you got crypto.com that you can get it on. Let's see what else we got. Of course, you got some of the Uniswaps, and I'm pretty sure you can get this on the base app as well by doing some form of a swap. All right. Let's go down and let's look at the website. I already got it up right here. All right, and here's something I want you to focus on. For one, they're building on the Bitcoin's blockchain, which is huge. And it's really in existence to help strengthen Bitcoin to make it better. So if you look over here, it's the first fully Bitcoin isomorphic layer 2 solution. Now, I'm not going to get into what isomorphic layer 2 solution is. You can do that. In fact, you can just do something like this. You can highlight this, and you can right click it, and you can search like that, and voila, there you go. But I'm not going to sit here and read that, but I just gave y'all. If you never seen me do that, but there you go. All right. Like they say, do your own research. Okay. So utilizing proof of work. All right, the UTXO models. Its main goal is to enhance Bitcoin by adding programmability and scalability through the RGB protocol, blah, blah, blah. All right. So this is done without relying on cross-chain bridges. So this aims to foster a thriving Bitcoin ecosystem. So this is huge. Bitcoin ecosystem. You don't have a lot of projects out there that's focusing on that. Okay. Now, here's one thing I really want you guys to focus on too. Quantum computing. Quantum computing is something where a lot of Bitcoin maximalists are concerned. Is because with quantum computing, you're able to potentially hack and break through blockchain security systems, and that poses a big, huge problem. All right, here we go. So the primary concern regarding quantum computing and cryptocurrency is that large-scale, fault-tolerant quantum computer could break the public key cryptography that secures most digital assets. If this happens before cryptographic standards are upgraded, it could lead to the theft of funds and fundamental loss of trust in the security of blockchains. Now, what about Nervos Network? Because see, I like them because they're focusing on making Bitcoin stronger in its ecosystem. And what do we have here? We have top quantum resistant tokens by market capitalization, and who is number one? Nervos Network, which is CKB. So we have a project that is actually has a use case, a utility, and is working on it, and it's improving Bitcoin, and they could be the ones that usher in a system where now they are, once again, remember what they said, if this happens before cryptographic standards are upgraded, it could lead to theft of funds. So what are they trying to do? To make sure that they are up to standard in feeding the Bitcoin ecosystem and protecting them to make sure that they're okay, right? Supreme security, a decentralization. They leverage the battle-tested proof-of-work consensus algorithm to ensure exceptional security and decentralization under all conditions. All right, so it's truly decentralized, permissionless, and uniquely resistant to capture by adversarial actors. All right. So you got interoperability. We need that. If you don't know what interoperability is, essentially, some of you guys are looking at this on your phone. Some of you are looking on your computer. Some of you are even looking at this on your smart TV. Okay, tablets. You got different internet providers. You got different cell phone providers, but it's interoperable, meaning that you can access all this information from various different devices, various geolocations in the world. That's interoperability, guys, and that is something where blockchain it really is having some issues that right now, an interoperable environment with other technologies. Okay, so that's where oracles come in as well too. So like Chainlink, it's like Chainlink. It's linking the blockchain world with the real world. Something has to communicate with it. Okay, so right now in blockchain, there are projects that are working on that, and over time it will be a seamless thing across the board. But you have to do the onboarding. CKB also helps with that. All right, so like I said, they support all cryptographic primitives. Right, they can seamlessly interoperate with all the heterogeneous blockchains and anchor all types of side chains, basically everything. So all these side chains, all these crypto projects, tokens. So you remember, a token and a crypto project are not the same, right? Bitcoin is a crypto project. It's not a token. Shiba Inu is a token of what? They come under Ethereum, which is the mother or the founding blockchain. Okay, so Ethereum is a cryptocurrency. Shiba Inu is not. It's a token. So, but with all that being said, whether you a token, sidechain, or whatever, all of it works together. Okay. So let's see. All right. So of course they can handle all the millions of transactions per second. Now, this is huge. All right. So look at that. So it's designed from the get-go that they can scale to millions of transactions per second through many diverse layer 2 networks without sacrificing security. Security keeps coming up, all right? Security. Visa can process over 65,000 transactions per second. They are building to do what? Millions per second. But you know the beauty is that Visa can what? Build on top of CKB. Now, I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but that's the technology that they're working on and building, and that could very well happen. All right, guys? All right, let's look at this. This happened in June. So hackers did drain over 3 million of Nervos Network. It was a bridge. So remember that was talking about interoperability. So bridging certain tokens and stuff can be very risky. All right. So a suspicious address reportedly hacked the force bridge on the Nervos Network, still over 3 million in crypto. All right. Let's see. So all right. So force bridge, a cross-chain chain protocol built on the Nervos was targeted in a suspected decentralized finance exploit, resulting into those losses. All right, the perpetrators siphoned off 257,000 USD. Blah blah blah. All right, and so In response, Magic Base, a major Nervos contributor, paused the bridge service and confirmed an ongoing investigation. All right, so aiming to establish an interconnected on-chain ecosystem through tools like Force Bridge. All right, so you gotta go through the bad, good, the bad, ugly. So that did hit them, and we can go and we can look. It dropped. That happened on June 2nd. It dropped 31. Well, actually more than that. Let me get down here. It dropped 33%. But then it's crazy. It went on a rally up to 157% until had this little pullback right here. Crypto was weird like that. Okay. Let's take a look at where price possibly could head in the future. So I'm on the daily chart. We got some good things that's happening here. First, let's look at this. We have clearly a base level right in here where we see price has reacted numerous times out of this particular base. And the fact that we're backing into this base means this is an accumulation area. And as you can see from this base, we had 788% gain out of that. We have had 1,300 percent gain out of there. And you got different, you got 252 and so on, right? We even get to the edge right here to this base, and we get a 374%. All right, so with all things, you clearly see that when it comes to crypto, this is basically oscillating, and this is for years. So this is at least from 2021 on. But what we really need is a catalyst to break this. We need to break this, all right? So this means that this impulse is still intact, and we can use this impulse to give us our targets to the upside for the future, especially on a higher time frame. All right, so we'll do something like that. All right, so first target we're looking at is basically 5 cents, 0.054, then 0.068, 10 cent, 14 cent, and 17 cent. And that's all based on this move right here. Okay, but more importantly, we gotta break this level, close above it, and establish new levels. All right, can this be the base of something new? Meaning that if we come back down, we're just retesting these areas and we push it higher, and we'll never see these levels ever again. There's a possibility. I'm not sure. No one ever knows. But where we currently are right now, to get up to that first level, we're talking about a 900 and this level. We're talking about a basically 11x, 1,173% gain. You get to the second level, around 1,500%. Of course, keep going on up. We can get up to 2,400. From there, 3,349, and then almost 4,000, 3,920 for that final target. Now, as price starts to move up here, you're going to be creating new impulses, which means that we can have those impulses that can push even higher up. Okay. I believe that, so right now, if we go over here and we look at coin market cap, let me see if I can. Let's go to the regular rankings, and we're gonna see down here. See to the bottom left. All right, move this over so you guys can see. Down here, the bottom left, you see we have 24 million cryptos. If you look down here at the bottom. All right. So you can click on that and you can see 24 million, guys. In the last 24 hours, 55,800 was created. And 99.9% of them were probably BS. The last 7 days, 343,000, and then last 30, 1.7 million created. Yeah. All right. That's the only concern with some of these projects is that every time a project is created, it takes from the liquidity that possibly could have went to the nervous networks or whatnot. So here's my thesis, my theory. We're gonna see massive moves in the future on crypto, but it's gonna be rotational. So that's gonna force us to play this game a lot different. We're gonna have to track the rotation. And what I mean by that is that certain assets are gonna move first before others, all right, and they're gonna go through a rotational. Once one is finished, they'll move and they go to the next, and they're gonna keep doing this. So if we're paying attention, it might be beneficial for us to be able to do something like that, to be able to track that and say, what industry or what type of tokens are now flying, they're rotating. And you may see that it goes from AI, gaming, RWAs, which is real world assets, oracles, DPIN, um, DeFi, credit swaps. They're security tokens or cybersecurity based tokens. That could happen. So what I'm saying is that not everything may not go as planned as everybody in the market just shoot up and go parabolic. All right, that's not going to happen. When I'm looking at this potentially is going to happen is that you will have different sectors will start to rotate in and out because they're going to try to squeeze as much liquidity as possible because who can compete with 24 million? Stock market don't even have that much. Okay, so this is a lot of fluff that's in the market, and that can drown out. And every time a project is created, put it on it takes away from the liquidity of all the other altcoins. Point blank. Okay, so you gotta respect that when it comes to that. Okay, guys. Let's see something. All right. So liquidity score is pretty good. It's high. We want to see that. Now, I want to show you maybe a potential project that's not that great. Let me click on this market cap. See if we get some changes. I really want to find a crypto project that has a bad liquidity score. So let's go down to the 96 area. All right. So let's click on this one, and I'm just randomly choosing so you can see liquidity score. So the liquidity score is so bad they don't even have one. All right. So that's what you want to make sure of. So look, if the value between 0 to 1,000, so 1,000 or above is really good. So you saw CKB was at around 600 some change, but let's let's go down to let's see. So you see all these are getting launched. So that's part of the millions, right? All right. Now a lot of these won't take on. Let's do this. Let's go into. Let's do this. I should filter this out. Bear with me, so I can show you this. All right, let's do this. Let's go back to one. All right, let's go back to do this. All right, and then let's go to page. Let's go to page 6. All right, let's see what's happening. All right, I'm just choosing one. See what the liquidity score is. So you just get a snapshot of that. All right, so it's the 500s. That's decent. It's pretty good, which means that you can get filled if you're trading that. But I'm basically trying to show you guys that you got to be careful of jumping into some of these projects to where if the liquidity score is very low, it's easy for you to get in, but it's going to be hard for you to get out, especially when markets start moving. All right, you can get manipulated bad for the most part. Let's see what this one is right here. So the liquidity score. See, I was starting to get low on some of these. It's at 305. It's decent. You probably can get filled. All right, but you see the lower we go down, all right, the harder things start to get. So although we got millions that come through, a little bit of liquidity, they're pulling a little bit, but okay, these are pretty high right there. I might want to look at this one. Well, it's high on Binance. It's only 11 million market cap. It's probably a lot of potential. Huh. This could have a lot of potential upside. I don't even know what it is. Portafan token. But it's on Binance. But look, I just looked at the liquidity score. It's pretty good for a project like that. And they only got 40 million max. All right, so this video wasn't about this, so don't quote me on this. But I am gonna make a mental note of this particular project. See if it can at least be entertained on a swap. So it's an FC Porter. Alright, if I can't find one, I just really want you guys to see. Let's go down to. Let's try this. Yeah, alright, so look right here on this one, on this particular exchange, just 17, so that's very low. That's terrible. And then it was updated 2 hours ago. It really wasn't no high liquidity here. So if you was trying to like swap out using the pancake swap V2 BSC, I meant, it would be very difficult. So a lot of times you're trying to swap the two coins and get out, and then say the liquidity is low. You got a high likelihood of not getting filled. That is the reason why. So although you do find some of these crypto projects that sound promising, you got to be careful because it'll be easy for you to get in, but then hard for you to get out. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, so this is my take on Nervos. I think it's worth paying attention to it a little bit more. It has a lot of upside potential. I like the fact that they're a little bit more niche focused now and focus on building out the Bitcoin ecosystem. It makes a lot of sense. So where there's focus, you got a lot of opportunity for growth instead of trying to be a jack of all trades. When it first came out, I think there was around that jack of all trades thing, but now they really are focusing, especially with that quantum computer. Who's going to protect? So, hey, this is not financial advice, but hit the like button, subscribe. It's your boy E White. I'm out.